everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. So I picked this release up a couple of days ago. I didn't really want to do a video on it until I actually watched it. Now, thankfully I watched it last night. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to put a video together just to share my thoughts on the film itself and what I thought of the 4K transfer. So yes, we have got the Eternals. And it's on this absolutely beautiful looking steelbook. And I have to admit, probably one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is just to show the steelbook, because it looks absolutely spectacular. So yes, the Eternals, look, I've heard everything when it came to the reviews. You know, the critics they kind of panned it a bit. Now I have to admit, I don't really listen to critics' reviews because I think it's all down to personal opinion. You know, so I just kind of stay away from critics' reviews. But what did get me a little bit worried about this film was when it came out on 4K and Blu-ray and DVD, normally my feed on YouTube would be filled with videos on this. Now I have to admit, I did not see one single video. So that definitely got me worried. So yes, I watched it last night, and even with my expectations were as low as they were, I have to admit it's a very mundane movie, very, very average. The story is far too simplistic. You know, you have the Eternals at the start of the movie, they fight this evil, you know, they all separate, go their separate ways, the big evil comes back, then they try to get back together, which takes an hour and a half to recruit the Eternals in this movie. Far too long. And then you have the big epic battle against the big evil at the end of it. And that's the Eternals in a nutshell. Unfortunately, it's just very, very simplistic. And I felt they could have done a bit more with it. There was a bit too much of this going to the past, going to the present, going to the past, going to the present. You know, just back and forth. Kind of started to annoy me a bit. On the plus side though, the characters in the film, I have to admit the casting was absolutely fantastic. I actually do love all the characters. Angelina Jolie's character, when I seen this film when it first came out, I just instantly thought, oh, okay, Angelina Jolie's going to be the, you know, the star of the show, but she really, really isn't. She's kind of right in the back burner a bit, you know, she's just you know, she's definitely not one of the top Eternals, put it that way. She doesn't speak a whole lot in this movie as well, which is quite amazing. But having said that, she is still absolutely fantastic. So yes, the cast was... I did enjoy the cast. And now that we have the origin story done, maybe then when they do a sequel to this movie, maybe then we can focus a bit more on storyline and kind of maybe drive these forward a bit more. The one thing I will say about this film though is the last half an hour of this movie is an absolute visual... It's a visual splendor. It really is. It looks absolutely spectacular. And if you haven't seen this movie, just for the last half an hour alone, just check it out. It does look amazing. It's like I said, it's a visual sight. It is. So yeah, that's my Eternals. Look, I thought it was very average. Whether we're going to get a sequel to it, that's another thing. You know, the film had a 200 million budget. It grossed 400 million worldwide. I don't know if that's enough money now to warrant a sequel to it, but it does say at the end of this film that the Eternals will return. Whether they'll return in someone else's movie, I don't know. So, yes, that's the Eternals. So let's go around the steelbook and have a close look at it, and then we'll come back and briefly talk about the 4K transfer. Right, so here we go. This is the steelbook itself, and I have to admit, the minute the artwork was revealed for this steelbook, I instantly fell in love with it. So as you can see, you can get the entire cast there on the cover as well. There is a J card on this. I will remove it as well once I just show everything that's on the back of the J card. So yeah, it has a lovely matte feel to it, and I do love the artwork on this. It looks extraordinary. Now this is actually an Amazon Italy release. It's going for around €25. I think that's what I paid for, €25. And I have to admit, Amazon Italy are fantastic when it comes to their steelbooks. They're incredibly cheap, because this film was £25 on Amazon UK just for the standard release. So yeah, to get the steelbook for €25 is quite brilliant. So right, I'll take us around to the spine of it now, and then right to the back of it. And yeah, just a bit of a write up there. Actually, I'll put it in close so you can see it. So that is that's some of the features that you get with it. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot there now, in all fairness. And there's some tech specs as well. So yeah, that is the back of the J card. So I'll remove this and give you a proper look at the back artwork. Right, so there you go. That is the back artwork, and very simplistic, but I think it looks absolutely amazing. I really do like it. I think it's incredible. And then I'm just going to open the steelbook in full so you can get a good look at the entire steelbook. But look at that. It just looks... It really looks amazing. I'm so happy that I picked it up. So yeah, that is the steelbook, and then I'll take us around, and I'll just take out the disc quickly for you. So if I can get this out, that is. It won't come out. Ah, there we go. So that is your 4K disc. Which you got yeah, you got a nice picture on it. And then for some strange reason, the Blu-ray is just this standard looking disc. Yeah, and then inside is your artwork. So that is very nice. I really am happy about the Steelbook. I think it looks great. Even though the film was a bit of a letdown, I'm still very, very happy that I picked up the Steelbook of it. So yeah, that is the Eternals. Right folks, so there you have it, that is the Steelbook, and like I said, I think it's a beautiful looking Steelbook, and I'm happy that I did pick it up. Right, so on to the 4K transfer. I'm going to just get a few tech specs right out of the way first. So the aspect ratio on this is 239:1, so you'll have black bars up and down. It has a native 4K DI, it has got HDR, no Dolby Vision, and it's also got Dolby Atmos. Now, I have to admit this is probably one of the worst looking 4K transfers I've seen for a native 4K movie. Now, when I say worst, don't get me wrong, the film still looks great. But when you knock on the Blu-ray, which I have, and then compared scenes to it, there is minor, no I mean it, just a minor upgrade on picture quality. Even the HDR as well, it's just a minor upgrade on colour. And yeah, sometimes when you watch the Blu-ray, you'd be even hard pressed to see any differences at all, which is very, very surprising coming from a 4K DI. Now, the one thing about the HDR on this compared to the Blu-ray, the HDR on this has made this picture look incredibly dark. I'm not kidding, it is unbelievably dark in places, so much so that it's very hard to make out anything. When you watch the scene, the first initial attack on Earth, that entire sequence, I could not see a thing. I could not see anything. Now, I've spoken about this briefly in a video that I'd done there a couple of weeks back about Dune, where, you know, there were scenes in that film that looked incredibly dark, but when I watched it, even though they were incredibly dark, you could still make out every bit of detail. Not on this. It's just absolutely blacked out. Could not see a thing. I was squinting a lot during this movie. And you know when you have a really dark picture, because when there's subtitles, there's some scenes when subtitles comes up on this, and when they do happen, the subtitles will actually blind you. The whites of the subtitles are so bright, you're literally, yeah, you're kind of blinking a lot. And yeah, I was so completely underwhelmed by this 4K transfer. I really, really was. I couldn't believe it. Again, when you see a native 4K DI. And I'm just wondering what this film is going to look on Disney Plus. Because that kind of just gets me a little bit worried. Because if I start hearing that this looks better on Disney Plus, then you kind of wonder, are they purposely doing that with the 4K disc? I really hope not. So yes, the 4K transfer was a bit of a letdown. It really is a shame. But the one thing I will say, it does start the picture quality starts improving a bit, especially at that last battle at the end, maybe the last half an hour. It's just a visual treat to look at, and the 4K really does enhance that a little bit. But again, look, if you have the Blu-ray, I can't see there's any point upgrading onto 4K, unfortunately. You do have a Dolby Atmos soundtrack on this, and it was absolutely bombastic. Look, again, there was some incredibly bass-heavy scenes in this film, and I have to admit, it did shake the room out of it. You do get a great sense of atmosphere as well. The overhead channels were used quite cleverly as well. So yes, the Dolby Atmos was fantastic. So the only reason why I think you would want to pick this 4K release up is maybe to get the Dolby Atmos, because apparently Disney don't put Dolby Atmos onto their Blu-ray discs for some strange reason. So that is it, folks. Just a quick video on this film. It was a bit of a letdown, I'm not going to lie, on all fronts. Sorry. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that. So yeah, that is the Eternals. So that is it, folks. So as per usual, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you could leave a comment down below and just share your thoughts on this film as well, and let me know what you thought of the 4K transfer on it. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. So take care, folks out there, stay safe, bye bye.